Hi everyone, I'm Jackie from Exam Prep Barcelona, also known as Exam Prep Spain. And today I'm going to go over the October 2021 non-calculator section of the SAT exam. Basically, hopefully this will provide you insight in how to solve the problems. Also, if you need further preparation or have any questions, feel free to reach out and contact us at any time. That will be in the additional information below the video. Okay, let's get started. So for those of you familiar with the SAT exam, remember non-calculator section, it's always section 3, and you have 25 minutes to complete 20 questions. Okay, also, you are given this little reference table here. However, you should have most of these formulas down if you're a true SAT master, but they are there in case you go blank or you need a formula reference. Okay, so let's just get right into the questions. So remember also, guys, the questions, they increase in order of difficulty from easy to hard. So the first 1, 2, 3, or 4 questions should be pretty easy to figure out, and then they increase in level of difficulty from there. Okay, so question 1, it's classic algebra. We just need to solve for k, it looks like. So I'm going to add 3k plus 2k, get 5k equals 5. Divide each side by 5, and I get that k is equal to 1. That should be the answer choice. Okay, here, number 2, what is the graph of the equation y equals 3? Well, it's definitely exponential growth. It should be going in an upward direction like choices A and B. It definitely would not be C or D. This is decay, exponential decay. And if I want to be sure of which graph I'm going to choose, I can make x equal to 0, put in y equals 3 to the 0. Any exponent raised to the 0 power is always equal to 1. So y is equal to 1. My coordinate set would be 0, 1. And that seems to correlate to choice A here. Amazing. So I'm going to circle A. Moving on forward. Okay. Here, ooh, quadratic functions. Okay, so here, this could be better maybe filled out, but f of x is always the y value. Quadratics always indicate parabolas, and we definitely have 2 x-intercepts occurring, -1 and 0. This looks like it could be. There's also 0, -4. That looks like it could be here. And 1, 0 could be here as well. So it looks like I already have my answer. It couldn't be choice B because this would be like maybe 0, 4, which is not provided. And if we look at option C and D, they don't even have x-intercepts. So they are gone. Amazing, right? Okay, so moving onward to the given quadratic function. Okay, so the quadratic function, maybe I'm going to minimize myself. Okay, so we're told that f of 2 is equal to 12. Therefore, if I plug in 2 for all my x values and set it equal to 12, I should be able to solve for c. So that's precisely what I'm going to do. So 12 is equal to 3, 2 squared plus 4 times 2 minus c. 12 equals 3 times 4, 12 plus 8 minus c. 12 plus 8 is 20 minus c. I'm going to subtract 20 from each side. And I'm going to get -8 is equal to -c. I don't want -c, I want positive c. So to get positive c, I'm going to multiply each side by -1 and get that a is equal to c, which correlates to answer choice A. Amazing. Okay, moving forward. Okay, so now going to choice 5. Okay. I mean, this is a long question, but that's okay. A person eats a total of 265 kilocalories while walking, running on a treadmill. Running at a constant rate required 11.5 calories per minute. Okay, so running looks like it's correlating to the x. And walk at a constant rate required 3.5. The relationship between the numbers, yeah. So running is X, and the number of minutes walking is Y. And the person ran for 20 minutes. How many did this person walk? So all we need to do is plug in 20 for our X value. So I'm going to do 11.5 times 20 plus 3.5y, solving for y for the person walking. And that should give me my amazing answer choice. Remember, this is non-calculator section, so you do have to solve 11.5 times 20 on your own. It shouldn't be too hard to figure out because why? You can do 11.5 times 2 and then add in the 0 at the end. Okay. Let's see. So 11 plus 11 is 22.5.5, but okay. So that would be 230 plus 3.5y is equal to 265. Now subtract the 230 from each side. 3.5y is equal to 265 minus 230. I'm going to be left with 35. Amazing. Divide each side by 3.5. We should be left with y equals 10, which is answer choice D. Okay, amazing. We've already done 5 questions. Now they should start getting a little bit more difficult. Which of the following is equivalent to the given expression? Okay, well, there's 2 approaches to solve this one. You could plug in values and test them, or you can just simply straight up solve. Okay, so this, if I divide, I'm going to take the reciprocal of the denominator, which would be 1/18, and I would get this is equal to 6 over 18x, which it can reduce further, right? It's the top and bottom, numerator and denominator, are divisible by 6. So like slash 18 divided by 6 is 3, would be 1 over 3x. Pretty simple and amazing, right? Okay, next up, it looks we have a little bit of geometry. In the figure shown, C is the center of the circle and AB is tangent. Okay, remember any line that is tangent at one point on the circle will create 2 90-degree angles here. Which of the following is true about the measure? The measure of BAC. So remember, like when they ask for angle BAC, they're always referring to the middle angle here. So it is actually referring to this angle here. It's clearly 90 degrees, so I know it's going to be C. That's just a theory question. Number 7 theory. Okay. Next, what do we have? The graph of the function f is shown. What is the value x for f of x equals 0? So what is the what value is x? When y is equal to 0. Y, this is f of x is y when y equals 0. Where does that occur? Well, I'm going to tell you guys. It occurs right here, right? X is 3 and y is 0. Amazing. So it must be choice D. Wow, there's 2 exponential growth questions. Okay, also this concept, number 9, it's on every single SAT exam, which is just rearranging equations. In this case, we have A equals P RT plus 1. Okay, well, there's multiple ways to go about this one. I want everything in terms of T. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and distribute and see what happens. So I would get PRT plus P. Okay, now I'm gonna subtract P from each side. A minus P is equal to PRT. Okay, if I want just T, I can divide each side by P of R. Likewise, I can separate this here into like A over PR minus P over PR. It's the same as we see here. And I mean, the P's would kind of cancel out here and you'd have 1 on top. So if that is an answer choice, this is all equal to T, because remember these will cancel. So A over PR minus 1 over R, that looks like it's answer choice C. Okay, amazing. Okay, number 10. What is the volume in cubic units of the right triangle prism? Okay, so triangle prisms, well, it's going to be the area of this multiplied by this, which is the like height of the prism. Okay, so knowing that, like all you really have to do for this one, it is a 45-45 right isosceles triangle, but irrelevant to really solving this. We can just do 6 times 6 divided by 2. 36 divided by 2 is 18. Oops. So that's the area of this, because remember guys, base times height divided by 2 is the area of a triangle. And I just need to multiply by the, I guess, the height, which is 10, which is 180. And that is an answer choice. Amazing. Okay, moving on to 11. A hotel has a total of 180 rooms, and on a certain day, half of the rooms were cleaned. Okay, so if half of the rooms were cleaned, that means that 90 rooms were clean. And there were 9 housekeepers on duty that day, and each housekeeper cleaned the same number of rooms. Okay. So, I mean, 90 divided by 9, it's equal to 10. So each housekeeper cleaned R, so R must be equal to 10. They each cleaned 10 rooms. Which of the following equations represents the information given in terms of R? Okay, amazing. Well, we already know what R is equal to. So if I go ahead and plug in R in the answer choices, that should give me my answer. So like here, 2 10 times 10, is that equal to 180? Oops. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, choice A checks out. I'm inclined to believe it's choice A, but just for learning purposes, let's say I put it in here like 1/2 9 times 10, which is 45, right? Because it'd be 90 times 1/2, 45. Does 45 does not equal 180, so no, and so on. So it must be choice A. Okay, moving on. Okay, so a patio is to be made using square paving stones that are all the same. There will be no gaps between the paving stones and they will not overlap. The line in the xy plane shows the relationship between the area y. Okay, so this is the area in square feet of the patio and the number of paving stones x. Okay, so this is like paving stones. The top surface of each paving stone is a square. Okay, so there's a square involved. With side, we know the sides of a square are all the same. So for each k feet, what is the value of k? Okay, so here we can see on the graph that it's like for 2 stones, it has an area of 8, right? For 4 stones, it has an area of 16. And for 6 stones, it has an area of 24. So then 1 stone, like here, it must have an area of 4. How do I know that? Okay, let's have a look. Remember, this is I'm looking for the top surface of each paving stone. So if k is equal to 2, that would make like the area to be 4, which makes sense. So for one paving stone, there's an area of 4. The area here, it's 4. So K must be equal to 2. Okay, so now you might be wondering, well, how do I get here? Well, like if I know that this is the area, look for 2, 8, like let's do this here. So it'd be like 2 squared for the K, right? K squared is equal to 4 times 2, the stones, is equal to 8. Let's look at number 4. 4 correlates to 16, so it would be 2 squared, which is K, right? Is equal to 4, and 4 times 4, which is here, 16. 2 squared equals 4 times 6. Oh, look, it looks like I found the right answer. It's correlating nicely to all the answers on the graph, so seems to make sense. Amazing. Okay. Moving onwards to number 13. Okay, so line L. Okay, line L is shown in the XY plane above, which is following this equation to line L. Okay, so this is not in point slope form, which is what helps the problem. So the y-intercept, remember guys, when there's a form, y is equal to mx plus b. M is always the slope and b is the y-intercept. Here the y-intercept is stepping at 2. And it looks like, I mean, if you want, you could find the slope or know that it's like, it's negative, right? The line's going in a negative downward direction. It's down 2 over 5. Now it'll be like down 2 over 5 will be the next point. Which is, of course, I'm doing like the rise over the run. So it should be like y is equal to negative 2/5 x plus 2. So if I can kind of just eyeball the answer choices and see like if I were to rearrange them, what they're going to become. So do you guys know which ones you would eliminate? And is my work making sense? So like I definitely want a negative x value and I want it to be negative 2. And like this is going to divide out. Let me just use like choice C as an example. Hint if this isn't the answer choice, but 2x minus 5y is equal to 10. Remember, I want to put everything in terms of y to put it in point slope form. Okay, so I'm going to move over the 2x becomes negative 2x. That is what I'm looking for, right? Like a down 2 over 5 plus 10. And then if I divide everything by negative 5, remember this gets divided by 5 too. I have positive y equals positive negative divided by negative 2/5 x. Well, that would be, well, plus negative 2, it's minus 2. Clearly that's not what I'm looking for because this is a minus y-intercept. So like that helps me because now I know like I need to be dividing, I want like a positive value here. So let's rearrange and look at choice D. 2x plus 5y equals 10. So 5y is equal to negative 2x plus 10. Divide out everything by 5. And I'm going to get y equals negative 2/5 x plus 2. My y-intercept checks out. And my slope, rise over run, down 2 over 5, down 2 over 5. So D should be the answer. Okay, so 15. Which of the following is equivalent to, okay, well, I mean, the square root of 16, it is, I mean, 4. But careful here, because they want you to think perhaps that the exponent under square root would just be 4, which it's not. You have to think of like laws of exponents, like what's really happening under here. This is like 4 times 4, right? Which gives us the 16. But what about the laws of exponents? How would I get to the 16? we would be multiplying, right? Like a 8 times a to the 8th would be a to the 16th, because remember, when your bases are the same, a, and when you have multiplication, you're adding the exponents, so that'd be 16. Okay, so therefore, everything like this would be cut in half, so it must be 4 to the a to the 8th. And again, it's a to the 8th for this reasoning here. Laws of exponents, so well, pretty much all these concepts, like rearranging equations in the previous problem, like point slope form. Also here, exponents or roots, the properties of exponents and roots, they're on every single SAT exam. Okay, now we're into the grid-in section. So the grid-in section, you come up with your own answers. Hint, if you ever get a negative answer in the grid-in section, it's definitely incorrect. Okay, and also here, the level of difficulty starts over again. So like 16 should be pretty easy. 17 could be easy or could be medium, depends on the exam. 18 should be like a medium level problem. 19 is considered like advanced, and 20 should be the most difficult. It's not really always that way. Depends how well you know your math. Okay, so let's get into it. 16. The graph of y equals 3/5 x minus 8. What is the slope of this line? This is literally, if you know y equals mx plus b, remember, m is always the slope. Hey, that correlates here. The answer is just 3/5. Number 16 is really that easy. That is insane in a good way. Okay, the solution to the given system's equation is xy. What is the value of x? Okay, so I'm gonna do elimination method. You can do elimination or substitution. It just seems like elimination could be easier. Okay, also, I mean, this says equal to. Okay, I want to get rid of the y so that I have the x maintained. So I would multiply the top equation by 3. Remember, this gets distributed here, here, and here. And the bottom equation becomes multiplied by 2, because this will give me a positive 6y, and this will give me negative 6y. And they will nicely cancel out. Okay, so my top equation becomes 9x plus 6y is equal to, remember this gets distributed here too, 3 times 8, 24. And on the bottom here as well, so 2 times 4, 8x minus 6y, and 2 times 5 is 10. Amazing. So remember, these cancel and left with 17x is equal to 34. Divide each side by 2, x is definitively 2. So crazy and amazing, right? Okay, now I have a triangle and right triangle. Oops, that didn't draw like I wanted it to. Okay, better. So x, y, z. It doesn't really matter how you label it, because it says sine of x is equal to cosine 20. So remember, like the sine and cosine angles, they will correlate to the x here and the z here. And sine plus cosine will always be equal to 90 degrees. That makes sense, right? Because this is 90 degrees. These two must sum to 90 degrees, because a triangle has 180 degrees. Sine and cosine are always complements of each other. So if cosine is 70, I know with that, like I need this to be 70, because 70 plus 20 is equal to 90. Therefore, angle x, this would be 70, and that is the answer. So crazy, right? Okay, well, the sum of the solutions to the given equation. Okay, so absolute value, whenever you have an equation like this, an absolute value brackets, you want to set it both equal to its like actual number, which is positive 3, and also to its negative value, which is negative 3. So here I'm going to do x minus 2. Well, sorry, I don't need the bracket. Is equal to 3. I'm going to solve for x, and then I'm going to also do x minus 2 is equal to -3. Solve for x, add 2 to each side. I'm going to get that x equals 5. Amazing. Next here, also I'm going to have plus 2, so x is equal to -1. This makes sense because 5 minus 2, it's 3, 3 equals 3, and -1 minus 2 is -3, -3 in absolute value brackets, it's equal to +3. So the answers definitely make sense. However, I'm asked for the sum of the solutions, so I'm going to add like 5 plus -1, which is 4. And that is the answer. Okay, amazing. And for our very last question, number 20. Okay, so in the given equation, okay, so everything's set equal to 0. The sum of the solutions is equal to 5. What is the value of b? Okay, well, how would we get to the solutions in a quadratic equation? Like, well, this isn't quadratic, it's a function, but when everything's equal to 0, what would we do? Like, how would everything here, this has to be zeros. So my one solution is 0 for here. Also here, like it's, hold on. I'm going to put a line here. Okay. So like solutions are whatever x is, that makes it 0. So here, like 0 squared, remember 0 squared, it's just 0. This one here, I would do like x plus 3 equals 0. And when I solve for x, I get -3. So the solution is -3. And for this one, I would have like x minus b equals 0. So the solution would be like +b. Okay, so my solutions are like 0 plus -3 plus b. And according to this, they're all equal to 5. Okay, so basically -3 plus b is equal to 5. And now I just need to add 3 to each side. And I get that b is equal to 8, which is the answer choice, or the correct answer is 8. And that is how you do the SAT math non-cut through section amazingly and perfectly. Okay. Oh wait, I skipped a question. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Okay, no problem. Love this question. Okay, so 14. And that's why, guys, you should always do what I'm doing here, like go back and check your answers if you have time to make sure that you did answer all the questions. Okay, so let's go back. We're gonna do, what number was it? 14. Okay, but here too, I can just see, it's pretty similar actually to the one we were doing earlier, which is 13. Like I want to put everything in point SOAP form. Why? Because this will tell me a solution. So in the system equations above, n is constant. The system has no solution. If the system has no solution, it means that the lines are parallel. Parallel lines always have the same slope. Very super important. Okay, so just, I'm going to take the one equation, I'm going to put them all in 2-point SOAP form, which means I'm going to put them all in terms of y. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, so for nx plus 3y equals 1, I would have 3y is equal to -nx plus 1, and you divide everything by 3. So this equation put in point SOAP form, it's y equals -nx divided by 3 plus 1/3. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same for this equation. I'm gonna move this here. I'll put this one in black. Okay. So this one, it's 12x minus 6y equals 0. Move the negative 12x to this side plus 0, it's nothing. So divide each side by -6, so y is equal to 2x, which means, remember, in y equals mx plus b, m is the slope. So the slope is 2. If I know the system has no solution, it means the lines are parallel. So I know that this slope, which is -n, they're going to be the same. Remember, parallel lines have the same slope. SAT loves testing this theory. So I'm going to do -n divided by 3 is equal to 2. Cross multiply, and you'll get that -n is equal to